Liverpool, they're expected to see off Brentford. Sorry about that, Matt, but they are 4-5.
Okay, all right. Well, it's a huge Sunday still. I know obviously the title's been decided and a fair few European places, but there are a number of teams still hoping that they might be able to get into the top 8 and then secure European football with it as well. Nicola, thank you so much for being with us this evening. That was a look at the latest odds with Ladbrokes. It's into an olympic.com.
Odds update on Talk Sport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
You're listening to Kick-Off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Up next, Don Smith from The Standard will join us to try and make some sense of this England squad announcement that is coming our way tomorrow. We'll get your thoughts too. We certainly know there's no Harry Maguire because he's made that public on social media this evening. Is that the right call? 03 717 223344.
Kick-Off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Hey, have you got a moment? Shepherd's Friendly offers a range of insurance and investment plans to prepare its members for every moment that matters. Like that new set of wheels moment, that getting the keys to your first home moment, or even that trip of a lifetime moment. And it only takes a moment to open a new plan. So, have you got a moment? Visit shepherdsfriendly.co.uk. When you invest, your capital is at risk.
After months of thrilling, unpredictable and electrifying Premier League drama, we enter a gripping finale on the final day.
Oh, it's too big for this one.
Watch all 10 final day matches this Sunday with a flexible Now membership.
It was absolutely box office.
So why not? Head to nowtv.com for every game of the Premier League final day. 18 plus, UK only. Broadband 2.5 megabytes per second required.
Big game this week. Want to bet? Stop and think. Because sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. Bet Fred. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
When your business needs the right commercial vehicle, you deserve value. Win choice at Trustford. Our approved used vans are inspected, trusted and ready to work as hard as you do. From the compact Ford Transit Courier to the efficient Ford e-Tornado Custom, you'll find the perfect fit, all backed by 6 months warranty. Petrol, diesel or electric, it's your choice. Visit your local Trustford dealership or visit trustford.co.uk.
Right now, UNICEF is supporting millions of children around the world. Working with local partners, we're setting up solar-powered water systems for communities in Malawi, vaccine programs to help eradicate polio in Pakistan, and building climate-resilient schools in Mozambique. £10 a month could help create lasting change for children. Search UNICEF Donate or text Donate to 61145. Together, we can build a better world for every child.
If the client is not happy with the quality of the work and wants compensation because they allege it's amateurish, unprofessional and childlike, his tax could help protect you. The Story of the Business, underwritten by Hiscox Business Insurance, subject to already holding a relevant Hiscox policy and subject, policy eligibility, terms and conditions.
Whatever kind of football fan you are, Talk Sport and the Coral Daily Download are here for it to celebrate the fans every day. Whether you're a football seater or a prawn sandwich eater, a half-an-hour scarf wearer or a lifelong faithful torchbearer, a retro shirt for every game or Manchester, even in the rain. For all the latest news, reaction and odds this season, don't miss the Coral Daily Download. Every morning from 6 on Talk Sport with Coral. We're here for the fans. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Talk Sport. Sports headlines with Boston. Uploadable, easy to apply water that cleans easily. Clubs trust Boston.
Good evening, I'm Max Scott. Here's some of your sports headlines. TalkSport understands that Ivan Toney has been selected for Thomas Tuchel's World Cup squad. He's one of the shock inclusions. In terms of omissions, well, where to start? We're told there's no place for Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Morgan Gibbs-White, Harry Maguire, Adam Watson, Luke Shaw and Lewis Hall. And we're just hearing in the last few minutes there's also no place for West Ham captain Jared Bowen. Remember, the England squad announcement is tomorrow morning, and we'll bring you all the news and reaction as it lands on Talk Sport. Elsewhere, the EFL has released their written reasons for expelling Southampton from the playoff final and giving them a 4-point deduction for spying. In it, it's revealed a determined plan from the top down to gain a competitive advantage took place. We understand Thunder Eckert is in line to be sacked by Southampton and sanctioned potentially by the FA. Get all the latest on the website talksport.com.
As another dramatic season comes to a close, the battle is far from over as teams compete for promotion in the EFL playoffs. TalkSport and TalkSport 2 bring you unmissable first-class coverage, kick-by-kick commentary of each and every playoff showdown. Unbelievable! Ahead of all 3 playoff finals, live from Wembley Stadium. Oh, yes! Experience the excitement of the EFL playoffs. What a magnificent finish! Live on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. The universe is dead. Prepares kick-off.
Good evening, you're tuning into Kick-Off this Thursday evening, and it's Dean Saunders, the former Wales striker, who's with me, Natalie Sawyer. So much for us to get through. We will be discussing the Championship playoff final and the Spygate ramifications as well, after the written reasons have been published this evening, and they are quite enlightening as well. That is to come. We'll also bring you the very latest on Aston Villa's trophy parade, because, of course, for the first time in 30 years, they're celebrating winning the Europa League, as they did last night, beating Freiburg so convincingly. And lots more coming your way as well. We have already started the show by talking about the England squad. It's going to be officially announced tomorrow morning, but by the sounds of it, we're going to know it all in full detail. It's almost like the time dropping like flies. Yeah, we're dropping like flies, and it's quite a worry because you're thinking who's left. But yes, lots of surprises already. So joining us to discuss it in more detail, it's Dom Smith, the football reporter and England correspondent from The Standard. Dom, good evening. How are you?
Hi, Dom. Yes, I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Very, very good. And I'm assuming it's now a very busy evening for you with all this news coming through.
Yes, a busy evening. This afternoon, Thomas Tuchel's been ringing round all the England players who were hopeful of a place in the squad. And one way or another, he's been delivering the news through this afternoon. So yes, it's all been, as you say, we might not have many surprises left by tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm just trying to think of a way round all this leaking out before you actually name the squad. You know, whether he could come out and say, I will be speaking to the players that I've left out after I've named the squad, for the obvious reasons that the squad gets leaked before I want it to come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's difficult, isn't it?
I suppose out of respect, he then wants to do them before the squad is
Right.
announced. I mean,
There would be a really interesting thing if they did the whole Brazil thing, like Carlo Ancelotti
Dom, I
was
would
doing.
love that. I just
Did he do?
Wouldn't that be good?
They
Yeah.
announced it live on TV. That's how they find out.
Yeah.
So when, obviously, Igor Thiago, with my bias, when he found out, one that he was called up the first time, and then when he gets in the squad, it's just beautiful scenes of him with his family, just celebrating something that's just so amazing. But, you know, for whatever reason, we don't do that. But let's start at the beginning, shall we? Because it all centred on, first of all, that Harry Maguire was not going to be called up by Thomas Tuchel. Does that surprise you, Dom?
It doesn't surprise me hugely, but I think it's a bit of a shame, really. I mean, he's England's all-time leading goal scorer in terms of defender. We know his tournament history. He's been to many tournaments under Gareth Southgate. He's scored goals in tournaments, and he's had a really good season for Man United and forced his way back into the England team last time out in March. But I guess ultimately, you know, Thomas Tuchel has decided that he's got better options elsewhere. I think that, you know, the statement that Harry Maguire gave, it clearly he was shocked by it and very, very sad. He felt that he had a part to play this summer, but it's not to be for him. And you wonder now, given his age, will he ever make it back to play for England in a tournament again? I'm not so sure. I think it might have been this summer or nothing, really.
I mean, he's just one of those players that you feel has always done brilliantly when it comes to England. He's just been a great servant.
Yeah, he's experienced, and it won't phase him playing in the big games. So yeah, it is a bit of a shock, and I think Luke Shaw done that.
Yeah, well, that's the other issue at the left-back scenario, Tom, because we're still on the wiser as to what's going on there, but suggestions are there's no Luke Shaw. We've even heard there's potentially no Lewis Hall either, which means it's Nico O'Reilly and one other, but they're sort of struggling to think of that other.
Yeah, I think he's very surprised if Nico O'Reilly is not in the squad. I think he will, and I think he'll probably be a first choice left back. I'm really surprised, not so much about the Luke Shaw one, but I'm surprised that Lewis Hall of Newcastle isn't enough. I mean, he is a really traditional, wide left back who's defensively good. I think he's exactly the sort of player that you'd want to full back in a major tournament, even though he's not been to one before. So I think that he would probably have been pretty good, on the left of a back four for England this summer. And I'm happy to admit that I would probably have started it, even though Nico O'Reilly is obviously the better player and has probably had a slightly better season. I think maybe Hall would have been more natural fit, but not really. For whatever reason, Tuchel's gone elsewhere, and I guess we now wait to see who the second choice left back would be. I think it's probably now between Miles Lewis-Skelly, who's just come back into match minutes with Arsenal at just the right time, or Jed Spence, who of course is an option on the right as well as the left for Tottenham. That hasn't had a particularly good season, but he has played a lot of football. So a lot of the calls that Thomas Tuchel has made that we're hearing about as they break this evening are very, very interesting selection decisions that he's made.
Joe, I have done the job. I was assistant manager for 3 years with Wales, with John Toshak as the manager. And you do get a sense in training that some players can't accept not starting.
Right.
And when you're away for a month, you've got to take that into account. Like,
you have to have good track record.
I'm not having 6 or 7 of them walking around with their face on the floor.
Yeah.
And ruin it for everybody else. So maybe that's what he's done with Harry Maguire. Maybe he thinks, if I take him...
I can't imagine it. I think even Harry Maguire himself was quite accepting that he wouldn't be a starter.
He seems to me like he's got a great attitude, Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think that about him, but I don't know the others, really.
Just to come back on what you were saying then, when picking a squad, how much does versatility come into play? The fact that, John just alerted us or reminded us that Jed Spence can play both left and right now. Is that a major factor?
Well, when you're Scotland, Ireland or Wales, then you haven't got that many players. So you do have to take that into consideration. You can play left side centre half or you can play left back. But when you're England and you've got probably 5 Premier League players in every position, you can take specialists, can't you?
Yeah.
I mean, Dan Burn can play left back or centre back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I also was thinking in my mind as well, why I like Lewis Hall is if you're picking Anthony Gordon, they've already got a relationship. Does that come into
how they combine and they have an understanding where, one goes inside, one goes outside, and they know what they're doing. They know when they're overlapping. He knows Anthony Gordon where he is. That does come into it, but hey, I know how difficult the job is as a manager, and there's different things that come into your head that is not obvious for the supporters to realise.
Yeah. Don, there are so many other issues, of course, to talk about. The situation of a number 10, it now seems as though there's no place for Phil Foden, no place for Cole Palmer. There's a suggestion there's no seat on the plane either for Morgan Gibbs-White, which we were kind of running out of options because we expected at least one of those 3, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, all the writers from various newspapers have been doing their predicted, squads and what they'd like to see. And I have to admit, I would have left, and I wrote this yesterday, I would have left Cole Palmer and Phil Foden out, which is a shocking thing to say. And last summer, you wouldn't have given that any thought at all. But I just don't think that what Cole Palmer delivered off the bench in Euro 2024 for Gareth Southgate's England, I don't really trust that he would be able to do that this summer in 30-degree heat in the USA. I would love to see that happen. He's clearly one of England's most richly talented number 10s, potentially the most. But he's been injury ravaged this season for Chelsea. He's been in and out of form. I don't think he's not scored that many goals or produced that many assists from open play. And similarly, Phil Foden has just really not had a good second half of the season with Manchester City. He's dropped out of the team. And I think that the options in that position, the number 10 position, are so plentiful and so good that Thomas Tuchel, I guess, can't afford to take players that aren't in peak form. That's why I'm actually so surprised that Morgan Gibbs-White, it sounds like, won't be in the squad. because he's finished the season so well with Nottingham Forest. He's been absolutely brilliant, and he's also a leader. You know, I remember when he came through at Wolves, and he was, you know, just a young kid who there was so much promise about. But you know, he's the captain now of Nottingham Forest. He's really led them through their European campaign and led them to Premier League safety. So I'm quite surprised that Gibbs White isn't on the plane. It is surprising that there would be no Gibbs White, Foden, or Palmer. You'd have expected one of those to be it. But
I've been thinking, who's going to supply Harry Kane? Who's going to create the chances? Who's going to roll that through ball? Because Harry Kane's speed of thought is better than everybody else's. He needs someone who's going to lay the ball in for him. So, you know, whether it's down the side to the centre back or...
As Dom's pointed out, there are still good options, and start with Jude Bellingham, I would have thought.
That's a dilemma. Morgan Rogers or Bellingham. One bang on form.
Yeah.
That's a dilemma. It's a nice problem.
I mean, I suppose the other situation that has surprised everybody is the news that potentially Ivan Toney is in, a player that it looked as though his England future was ended last year, really. Yet it seems now he is back in Thomas Tuchel's good books.
Yeah, well, there was reporting earlier this month that Thomas Tuchel had made a little bit of a sort of changed his mind a little bit on Ivan Toney. And I think you can certainly, whether you agree with that decision ultimately, that it seems like he'll actually go, you know, as one of Harry Kane's understudies, potentially is the only one, but certainly if not, then as one of two. Whether you agree with that one way or the other is neither here nor there. It's undeniable that his goal scoring form, you know, in Saudi Arabia for Al Ahly has been outstanding. But then you have to question the quality necessarily of that league. And is it, you know, is that football of the highest level? I think some people would very much argue it's not. And that may be why his international career had looked like it had ended. He's only played 4 minutes of football under Thomas Tuchel during Tuchel's time in charge. So it's fascinating that he's, you know, not only forced his way back in, but to do it at this, you know, this timing would be incredible to come straight back in for the World Cup squad proper. But, you know, a penalty specialist, he did well off the bench at Euro 2024 when Gareth Southgate called on him. That was his first tournament, I believe. So he has got precedent for being used in that way. And I wonder whether Thomas Tuchel sort of sees him as that sort of clever option to come off the bench later on in the game, and with the penalty prowess that he's got as well.
Dom, it's going to be a busy evening for you. Appreciate you sparing the time to chat to us about the England squad. Thank you.
Thanks, Dom. No problem. Thanks.
And remember, we'll bring it to you first from 9:45 tomorrow morning. Adrian Brown, Stuart Pearce bringing you the Talksport breakfast so far of our England team, of course, out at this summer's World Cup and all the build-up, plus the squad announcement as well. That's Talksport breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. We will continue to talk about the England situation, of course, get your thoughts on it as well. Plenty of you have been getting in touch already this evening. And we here at Talksport have announced our star-studded lineup for this tournament coming your way this summer. We'll bring you every game in North America live. One of our team will join us to discuss their role and the competitive tournament next. So tune in to see what with that for us. Stay tuned and over BigAlware.org.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. 18plusgambleaware.org.
The clay of Roland Garros tells a story. A canvas carved through obsession, painted by the power engraved in history. This is where champions leave their mark. Roland Garros, exclusively live on TNT Sports. Streaming HBO Max, new streaming on TNT Sports, or watch TNT Sports on the East Side Living Media. Subscription required. 18 plus. TNT as well. Make it matter. Make it count. Make it precise. Perfect. Profitable. Make every job bang on. Make it work every own style. Make it home for the kick fast time. Make time to hit the gym. Make it inspirational. Make your mark and make a mark on others. Make The Apprentice fall for the oldest trick in the book. Make it season 2. Coffee with one, bacon with bread. Make it to the match. Make that catch-up with your mates. Make it to the end of another busy week. Make it happen with Bloom. Your world made better. Find out more at bloom.com.
Football, it's in your DNA. And at SpreadX Sports, new customers can earn up to £80 in free bets after placing a £10 World Cup outright bet. Get an initial £10 free fixed odds bet and a further free £10 bet for every game your chosen nation wins. Visit spreadex.com/DNA for full T's and C's. Spreadex Sports, it's in our DNA. 18 plus gamble away or principal for outright bet only qualifies. Free bets capped at £80. Free bet stakes not included in any winnings. Free bets must be played within 14 days.
Hey there, it's your big McDonald's hot dog corner. And it's not just any kind of hungry, it's the kind that calls for big arch. Stacked with juicy beef, cheddar cheese and big on a sauce. Oh, and don't forget those crispy onions. Hungry? You are now. Served from 11 a.m. Subject to availability. Price and participation may vary.
Wrong tool for the job? Don't make that mistake with your van. Get up to 30% off selected new Toyota vans with a warranty up to 10 years or 100,000 miles with every qualifying routine service. Visit your nearest Toyota centre or visit toyota.co.uk/van savings for more details. Savings on selected vans ordered by the 30th of June 2026. UK residents, see toyota.co.uk for full details. T's and C's apply.
This Sunday, TalkSport will bring you full coverage of the final day of the Premier League. And with European spots up for grabs and West Ham and Spurs fighting to avoid relegation, there's everything to play for. And as if that's not exciting enough, TalkSport bet on the broadcast Super Boost to start the season in style. 2 or more goals to be scored in every Premier League match on the final day. Current price 7-2. Broadcast Super Boosted price 4-1. TalkSport bet. Broadcaster linked on booking. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus member eligible.
Talk Sports Superstar Breakfast tomorrow morning from 6. Big name.
Good morning, Ali. It's so great to speak to you.
Game-changing stories.
Maybe you should get a foot massage. You don't need the voice to call for that.
What a load of nonsense.
Talk Sports Superstar Breakfast.
Tomorrow morning from 6 on Talk Sport.
Good evening, this is Kickoff on Talk Sport. It's the former Villa striker Dean Saunders who is with me. Today at Talk Sport we have unveiled our world-class lineup for the FIFA World Cup 2026, and it features not just one but two current Premier League managers, Everton's David Moyes and the Brighton boss Fabian Herzler. They'll be joined by recently retired England defender Carl Walker, World Cup winner Emmanuel Petit, the former Netherlands striker and Gareth Southgate assistant coach with England Jimmy Boyd Hasselbank, US goalkeeping legend Brad Friedel, and also huge football fan AJ Tracy. Dean Saunders is involved too now. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the screen. Alan McAnally's on the screen there with an Aston Villa shirt on.
Oh, he's not on there.
Yeah, how has he got involved? But it's just showing all the celebrations and the players getting off the plane.
That's to come with Aston Villa, but he is a club ambassador, so that's why he'll be enjoying those. So it looks fantastic, certainly. Also part of our team as well, because as you can expect with any football tournament, there might be some controversial decisions, so they are going to be closely scrutinised by the world-renowned refereeing expert Christina Uncle, and she joins us now. How are you, Christina? Welcome to the team.
Hi, Christina.
Hi, cheers. Thank you all. I'm here in the States, checking out the weather for you all to make sure it's nice and humid for the World Cup.
But I need to know this, first of all. How hot do you think it's going to be? I'm going to be on the East Coast, Boston, New York, Miami, first of all.
Well, good. We'll go ahead and make sure we get an Aperol Spritz when you're here, because I will be in New York as well. But it will be hot. I'm obviously in Florida right now. It is, I'm trying to think Celsius for you all, might be about 50, 60 degrees Celsius. So it's close to 100 degrees already, and we're still only a couple weeks away, so it will be a bit spicy.
I'm going to have to bring so many different portable fans just to cool me down, that's for sure.
Christina, can I ask you, before the World Cup starts, is there anything different with the laws of the game that we can expect when the game's kicked off?
Yeah, there's multiple, but some of the ones I'm going to address just out of the gate are the ones that are going to directly be seen by the fans from the biggest impact. I'll lean into the VAR ones. There are VAR technologies that are implemented. We've seen them in the men's Euros, semi-automated offside technology to kind of help accelerate VARs to get to the answer, to hopefully eliminate as much time that is being currently used in our league play. But the one that you guys are going to see, and it'll be interesting to see how many of these, is the overturn of an incorrect second yellow card that dismisses a player. So those are able to be reviewed in this World Cup that have not yet been done in competition. So that second yellow card being able to be reviewed, and just a correction, is it is a yellow card that is given. That's the incorrect, a clear and obvious incorrect decision for a second yellow card. That can be overseen. Now, if there should have been a second yellow card given, that is not going to be reviewed by VAR. So that is one of those that have really impacted and changed whether or not a team is impacted from a missed second yellow card or an incorrect second yellow card. And then the other one's kind of just keeping with the theme of the weather. You're going to see what I'm now joking as quarters, right? We're going to be playing quarters instead of halves due to the cooling breaks that you'll see implemented right out of the gate.
All right. What about the yellow card situation? How many yellows do you get before you get suspended? You can't play in the next game.
Yeah, no, great question. So, I apologize. I can't remember if it's exactly 3 cards, but I do know it is now resetting after group stages and then after the quarterfinals. So, previously, before you only had 1 reset, just because of the expansion and the growth of the game now, how many games that we are playing in the World Cup, you're going to have less likelihood of a player who's going to be sitting out due to yellow card accumulation. But it is now happening at 2 different stages, group stages and after quarterfinals.
Okay, that's good to hear as well then. I mean, I know there's not loads of new laws necessarily being brought in, but crikey, are there going to be times you think where VAR might be questioning, is this the one that we should be doing now? Is this the law that we should be implementing?
Yeah, no, not very much so, because the laws of the game themselves and the implication are going to be, for the most part, the same. Some of the other ones that you'll see is, speeding up the level of play. So, the goalkeeper holding onto the ball, you're going to see the demonstrative signals by the referee in the field for 8 seconds, the quick throw-ins, and if not, then they're going to be lost and sent to the other side. So, at least from a VAR standpoint, hopefully we have less controversies because there's more technology, more cameras in the Men's World Cup than what we normally see. So probably more, you can see the referees are going to be a bit more, have been empowered to be able to enforce ensuring that we do not have the dark arts when it comes to wasting time. And also, the conversations where players in controversial situations are covering their mouths and talking. Now that's been empowered for the referees to be able to enforce dismissals even if they have not heard any kind of derogatory terms. And also just ensuring that we only have one captain speaking to the official instead of mass confrontations.
What you just said there about the covering of the mouth, and I totally understand where this new punishment has come from, but do you think there'll be some referees that will find it difficult to give a red card for something they might not have heard? It might be something innocent that player's forgotten that they shouldn't be putting there. It brings its own conundrums with it, really.
No, you hit that on the head. One of the things that we're getting and I've heard is being, brought down is in the application of this new law is not just necessarily, bend it, but to use context and to appreciate it, right? You have many players who cover their mouths just to talk to each other in friendly terms because they do not need people to be trying to transcribe what they're saying. So it's going to be a learning curve for the players as well, but also for the referees to kind of balance out, when do we give that red card, right? In what situations are we giving? And that's where they're kind of saying, put some common sense and some logic. It's, really would be only in situations where you would find yourselves in, 2-3 players going at it and people covering their mouths. Those are the ones that are going to be easy to defend versus one that, it's one player kind of in a random situation. Let's not enforce something that logically people wouldn't sit there and be able to justify you now enforcing this new law.
And just lastly, Christina, then, how are we going to hear you on TalkSport? What are you going to do for us?
Hopefully the media is be able to come in at times, right? We have these big controversial decisions. It is the World Cup. It is referees, and it's called job security. There'll always be something to talk about. So hopefully on the airs, live, and being able to engage with the TalkSport talent. It's been a good group, and I'm blessed to be able to work with you all too in one of the biggest tournaments on the stage.
I've got a job for you. Right before the tournament kicks off, explain to us all what handball is. Because none of us know.
See, no, we don't have time. We do not have time for that. You've got a busy day ahead.
We'll do it over drinks.
Oh, I look forward to that Aperol Spritz with you. Christina, thank you.
Cheers.
Look forward to seeing you in the summer. That's Christina Uncle then, who's going to be part of our team, bringing you the World Cup, and our coverage begins on June the 11th. With full coverage of the opening game. That is Mexico versus South Africa from 8 p.m. And we will have all 104 games live for you across the 39 days of the tournament. In the next hour, we will be celebrating Villa's Europa League victory. Why not give us a call, Villa fans? I'm sure you're still on a high. Maybe you're just getting back from the parade. 03717 22
Kick off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18plusgambleaware.org.
At Tesco, we know that right now, every little helps. That's why we've made Aldi Price Match available in over 2,000 Tesco Express stores. Price matching on essentials, so you can bag the basics with confidence. When every penny counts, just look out for the Aldi Price Match logo next time you nip into your local Express. Tesco, every little helps. Prices checked and matched in Aldi stores and online twice weekly. Pro rata excludes promotions. Selected products excludes Northern Ireland and Bush. See tesco.com/Aldi Price Match.
This season, I want to feel it from the start, from the whistle, from the first touch. Want to beat the odds, want to take an early lead, want to see why he costs so much money, want to shout pen before the ref has even called it, want to see the call go our way for once. I want to hear their lot go quiet, want to see them leave early, want to drop into the group chat to tell them, I'm seeing the future, want to hear them agree. And if not, I'll say, want to bet? Bet Fred. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Time to get your summer look sorted. We're very pink, they glow up with Gatineau body bronze only £40. And the GHD Chronos Max only £309. And the Mango contrasting canvas bucket bag only £36. Shop iconic beauty and fashion at Very today. Plus get more times pay with Very Pay. Very. Let's make it sparkle. Standard delivery from £3.99.
At Arnold Clark, upgrading your car just got easier and cheaper. For a limited time, you get an extra £500 when you part exchange your current car. That's more money to put towards your next one. Plus, we'll give you 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car. That's 2 years completely free. Search the upgrade event and save on your next car. Only at arnoldclark.com.
Have you got your golden goals in for the weekend? BetMGM is giving you the chance to net up to £250,000 with 6 correct football scores. There's also free bets and cash prizes for 2 correct results or more. And the best part? It's completely free to play. Up to 6 figures for 6 correct scores. BetMGM. It's showtime. Predict 6 correct scores to win up to £250,000. T&Cs apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
As a sizzling summer of sport approaches, you can be enjoying it on the ultimate Superfan TV package thanks to TalkSport and Sky Glass. Listen to the superstar breakfast on next week. Go head-to-head with another listener in a sporting shootout, and you can win a state-of-the-art TV made by Sky, a Sky Glass, including a year-long Sky subscription ready for next season. Play Bring It Home every morning, 3 till 6 on TalkSport with Sky Glass. The TV designed for football. Find out more at sky.com/glass.
On DAB, online, and on your smart speaker. TalkSport. Sport.
Good evening, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. The England squad is being announced tomorrow, but as we understand it, there's a raft of big names not included in the team Thomas Tuchel's picked to go and win the World Cup. We're told Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Morgan Gibbs-White, Adam Wharton, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw have not made the cut. However, we understand Ivan Toney will be on that plane. Here's our chief football correspondent, Alex Scott.
Pretty open secret, didn't impress the England manager in training, but I can tell you, it's our understanding at TalkSport, Ivan Toney is in the squad. He will be part of England's squad at the World Cup this summer, which I think, along with Harry Maguire's absence, is probably the biggest curveball of all.
Kobbie Mainoo, Wally Watkins and Tino Livramento are also said to be included in the 26-man squad. Remember, England will officially announce that tomorrow morning from 9:45. And TalkSport bring that live with all the reaction. Elsewhere, the EFL have released their written reasons for giving Southampton a 4-point deduction and kicking them out of the playoffs. They say it was deplorable to use junior members of staff to spy for the club, adding they were put under pressure to do so. We expect Tom de Eckhart to be sacked after his prominent role in the spying was revealed. Elsewhere, the Hull City manager only has positive thoughts about automatic promotion to the Premier League.
I think this is the best idea. So we are in the final, they did got some campaigns, so the best scenario for one movie. But we will see what will happen in the end.
As Sergei Yakirovich speaking ahead of the Championship playoff finalists, the Hull's owner could take legal action should his side lose on Saturday. That game, of course, is live on TalkSport.
TalkSport. News.
The Chancellor set out a raft of economic measures to ease the cost of living, and documents reveal it was the late Queen who pressed for Andrew to become a trade-on boy.
Talksport weather with Quick Fit. Our expert technicians can't do your spring cleaning, but they can keep your cars in built safety tech in top nick. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Spreading northeastwards across Northern Ireland and Scotland this evening, then clearing overnight. Mostly clear for England and Wales, though a little patchy fog and drizzle in place.
Clear car on DAB, online, on your mobile. Powered by fans. Squad 80 Club Toured and next generation multi-link dome intelligence. The referees of football. The essential, established and excellent evening star of football.
Oh, shoot! Score!
Kick-off with Natalie Sawyer on Talksport.
Let's kick off on Talksport. I'm Natalie Sawyer, alongside me is the former Villa, Liverpool, Oxford and Derby striker Dean Saunders. In this hour, we'll discuss Villa's Europa League success and hear from fans from today's trophy parade. We'll discuss even Spygate and ask what Southampton do next following their expulsion from the playoffs. Plus, we'll look ahead to the final day of the Premier League as well as the Championship playoff final. We'll ask, what's next for Arsenal following their title win, and can they secure a historic double by winning their first ever Champions League? You can get your calls into us, 03717 223344. Why not join us this Thursday night on Kickoff? Right, so much still to get through, and I'm sure news will continue to filter through on the England squad announcements that is happening tomorrow morning, which will bring you live on Talksport. But you heard there in the news headlines some of the big calls already made. The omission of Harry Maguire, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Morgan Gibbs-White, Lewis Hall, Luke Shaw. Some big names that are set to miss out. Ivan Toney, though, back in the fold, it seems. More on that to come. Well, it's just been a glorious, glorious day today, no doubt, after the night before, when Aston Villa secured their first European trophy in 44 years. Last night is the Stamford.
One of the biggest nights in Aston Villa's ground is the fourth.
My dream, man, I'm here was the Europe, play for trophies.
Somebody walked across the edge of the goal again. What a goal! Huge goal on the night by the This group of players now, Champions League football next season. This manager, he won't just be happy with one trophy.
Tielemans, McGinn, Buendia! Oh, Sterling grabbing their name on the trophy now!
The campaign we did this season in Europa League, it was fantastic.
What a time to get that second one as well. Stunning into the half of Villa.
And achieving this one is something make us so happy, so proud of everything we are working.
You know, there's been a band here tonight, Jim. I've never seen their team win a trophy. When it all changes right here, left-hand side of the penalty area. Long ball in.
Morgan Rogers, what a performance! What a manager! What a support! John McGinn has taken the cup and lifted it into the Turkish night, and the name on the trophy is Aston Villa.
Yeah, tremendous night then for the Villains, and the celebrations are continuing. Of course they are, after an incredible night in Istanbul. There were goals from Tielemans, Buendia and Rogers that saw Unai Emery's side claim an emphatic 3-0 win. It really was, to secure the manager's 5th Europa League title. So by winning the Europa League, Villa have secured Champions League football for next season. They had already guaranteed that, by the way, by the fact that they will finish in the top 5, haven't they? Well, they have guaranteed, haven't they? Champions League football through the Premier League too. I mean, I think it's like a quirk of fate as well, that all the teams that Unai Emery has won Europa League with have Villa in their name. Real, Sevilla, and now Aston Villa.
And there was another unbelievable stat last night that since Unai Emery's been in charge of Aston Villa, they've spent double that Freiburg's history have ever spent on players.
Right, okay.
That was an unbelievable stat as well.
Yeah.
But they were favourites at the start, and it was proven to be correct. And last night, the execution of the goals they scored, Tielemans' volley from a well-worked corner. from Freiburg's point of view, horrendous goal to concede. A volley straight from the corner, in the box, just past the penalty spot. Great volley from Tielemans though. He executed it, let it drop, kept his head still, his laces straight through it, kept it down. And then Buendia's goal, which again, from Freiburg's point of view, a gap. He could have drove the Huey 2 through the gap between the left side centre half and left back. Appeared. Buendia seen the gap, went into it. They'd let him turn back on his left foot, obviously not watched him play. And his execution of outside the post, bending it in the top corner, outstanding. And then the last goal, from Freiburg's point of view, Villa have played right through him, from back to front, out of shape completely. But the execution again, Morgan Rogers getting across the near post, great ball in from Buendia again. He's got an assist and a goal. And they could have had more. I was a bit gutted Ollie Watkins never scored because he's on fire.
Yeah.
But it was just, do you know what? I can't remember. I would say probably in my career managing 15, 16 years where you sat there 3-0 up and you know you've won. And it happens, I reckon it's happened once or twice to me in my career where you sat there and you 3-0 up. Normally, you know, you go in grey as the game's going on because you never relax. You think, you know, you could throw the game away. But the fans, it means so much to the fans. 40 odd years since they won a European trophy, and do you know, I'll tell you how much it means to them. It brought back memories to me. We beat Man United in the League Cup in 1992 at Wembley, and we were walking around the pitch with the cup. And all the fans were there like they were last night. You know, thousands of them. And this lad was shouting something to me through the fence, pointing at the floor. And I looked at my boots. I'm thinking, does he want my boots? Or what? He's asking me. And I thought, was my shin pads? And it was a divot that had come up. A big divot. A slide tackle divot, right? That was on the floor.
A bit of
so
turf.
I picked the turf up. And I threw it over the fence to him, right? Honestly, this is true. 2 or 3 weeks later, he put the turf in his garden. So he cut a bit of grass out, put the turf for Wembley in there, and he got Subbuteo players and goals. Yeah, he got Man United players and Villa players, and then he sent me a picture of it saying, "This is my Wembley."
I wonder how that has weathered so many years on.
But what a turnout! And John McGinn, captain, outstanding. Watkins from the front. If you centre forwards closing down and chasing lost causes like him, the whole team join in.
Well, listen, you've been asked the same about how the fans all feel. Let's speak to one.
Yeah.
Because Howard Hodgson, long-time Aston Villa fan and podcaster, joins us. So how are you, Howard? How are you still feeling?
Evening, Howard.
Hiya, Dino. Hi, Natalie. Oh, I'm absolutely elated still. I'm still pinching myself, you know. It's been brilliant since Unai came, but this is really the icing on the cake, you know, to get that trophy after so long, you know, since Dino was wearing our kits, you know. I remember those 90s years so fondly, and there's so many, you know, fans that haven't seen Villa win anything, including my kids. I've got an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old, and it's been mostly miserable for them until Emery arrived. And, you know, they're all so elated, and there's just thousands and thousands of Villa fans that just have a wonderful feeling today, a wonderful glow.
Did he notice at the end? I did, and I was proud of the players, the way they treated Unai Emery, the players. Even the ones who weren't playing, he'd left out, were all pleased for him and pushing him through. You know, they made a bit of a little tunnel for him to walk through. The goalkeeper picks him up, and it made me think, that's respect for your manager. You don't have to like him, you just got to respect him. And then when I see what's going on at Liverpool, that's the opposite.
Yeah.
So I was proud of the players last night. I thought they took the victory with a bit of class.
No, I agree, and they do love him, and I think they all respect him hugely, and you know, they recognise how much he has done for them, because a lot of these are the same players, Dino, that were there before he arrived. And
there were 7 started apparently. 7 players who started were there when he got there the first day.
Yeah, and a lot of them were signed by Dean Smith even before Steven Gerrard, you know, so there's a lot of players that have been there a long time, and Emery has just taken them to a whole new level that they probably didn't even know they could achieve, and they recognise it, you know, there's not a lot of egos at Villa, and I think that's why they listen to his long, drawn-out, structured video sessions, and they don't complain like maybe he had at Paris Saint-Germain or even at Arsenal. He has a group of players that adore him, and he gets the best out of them, and he's just been the best thing for this club. And we've been great for him too. It's a great marriage, isn't it?
Oh, it's been terrific, and you're absolutely right. I mean, just talking about the progress, because before Unai Emery was at Aston Villa, you look at the seasons before, the highest you finished was 11th, and then he comes in, rescues you from that relegation fight that you were in under Steven Gerrard, finished 7th that season, then it's 4th, then it's 6th, you guaranteed Champions League football again this season, or for next season too. The question, I suppose, is what's next? Where can Villa go next?
It's remarkable, Natalie, and when you highlight it like that, it has just been an upward curve all the way through. And now the challenge is, like you say, how can he top this? And it won't be easy because, we do have spending constraints at Villa. And I heard Dino saying about, our spend compared to Freiburg, which, is completely valid and relevant. But in the Premier League, we still, compared to the Chelseas and the Liverpools and the Uniteds and the Arsenals, we don't have the spending power, and it's nothing to do with our owners, who would be quite happy to match them. It's the rules, and these spending rules, and it makes it tricky. And that again just highlights how brilliant a job he's done.
Do you not worry about like it's without throwing water on the fire at the minute where Villa are still celebrating next season? They're not going to have to sell Morgan Rogers or somebody like that, are they?
Well, I read today it did pour a little bit of water on the fire, Dean, because I read exactly that perhaps we probably will. I hope that's not right, now that we've got the Champions League income booked again. But I don't know. I mean, because he's played every single game. He's played like 55 games this season, that boy. He must be utterly exhausted. He's got a World Cup coming up as well. But having said that, he's young and he seems to be loving it. But Dina, can I just say to you, I never forget when you came to the Villa and you said something that always stayed with me. You said, because you come from Liverpool, you said, I've played, in fact, it was just after you left Villa, you went, I played for Liverpool and played for Villa. And he said, you know what, Villa's just as big, they just don't know it. And never forget those words. And you know what, you're so right, but the club is starting to feel like, it could actually, if it's allowed to, stay up here for a long time.
Do you know, if I do any events, for Villa events, there's double the amount of people coming than there used to be.
It's you.
Not because it's not. So, same person, right, me, but say there was like 50 in the room, there's 100 in the room now, 2 years on.
Right.
There's 200 in the room, there's 400 now.
Yeah.
Everything to do with Villa at the minute. It's like Villa fever.
Of course, everything's on a high, and it should be. And talking of a high, when you look at the potential Villa players to get into the England squad, we all expect Morgan Rogers to be there, Ezri Konsa likewise, and there is a suggestion that Ollie Watkins is in there too, as well, Howard, after being not selected last time around.
Do you know what, he did us a favour to when he did that, because Ollie was going through a bad spell. And it seemed to give him the kick that he needed, because ever since he was left out of that one England squad, he's been on an amazing run. And I think he's an absolute shoo-in now, because I think he's definitely Kane's understudy. So, he's finished the season strong, he's in form, he's confident. He scored that great goal at the last big tournament in the Euros. So I think he'll be there, definitely.
I'd like to know, what's the target? Well, you just mentioned it now. Where do they go from here? I'd like to know now, when this calms down and they go and sit down after the Liverpool game, and the owners go, right, what's the target next season, and how are we going to do it? Because if you're not going forward, you're standing still, and everybody else is going forward. So they're going to have to come up with some way of doing it.
Yeah.
But this financial fair play, if you've got to sell Morgan Rogers, Chelsea had to sell Gallagher. It's not working, is it?
No.
It's not working. It's rubbish.
No, of course
You've got to sell your best young players. It's not right.
No. But listen, revel in it still, Howard, because it's been a fantastic 24 hours for you. And as I say, there's plenty more celebrations to be had this week. And then the season finishes with a trip to Manchester City, where you can just enjoy that one as Europa League winners. So thank you, Al, for being with us.
Thank you.
Up the Villa.
Up the Villa, mate, and well done to Brentford, Natalie, as well.
Very kind, Harold. Thank you very much. Harold Hodgson there, the Aston Villa fan podcaster, joining us. Up next, we'll actually hear from some of the fans who've been at the trophy parade as well. That's been taking place in Birmingham today. This is Kick-Off on TalkSport.
Kick-Off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18plusgambleaware.org.
Mr. and Little Miss are back in Happy Meal and they're off on a road trip. Your little one can go somewhere exciting with Little Miss Brave. Laugh all the way there with Mr. Tickle or make up an adventure all of their own. On this road trip, anything's possible. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until the end of 2 from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy. While stocks last. Subject to availability.
Smart TV didn't work. QR code login didn't work. Re-enter login didn't work. Voice activated remote didn't work. Wager £20. Get 100 free spins with Midnight on eligible games. Search Midnight Casino or download the Midnight app today. New customers only. Restrictions and T's apply. 18 plus. Play responsibly. Gambleaware.org.
With problem earwax, things don't feel quite right. The NHS recommends using olive oil to help relieve build-up. So Otex offers medical-grade olive oil in both drops and spray. But if you need to act faster, there's Otex Express. However you choose to treat it, choose the earwax treatment brand most recommended by pharmacists. And be clear to hear with Otex. Based on a survey of 200 pharmacies. For verification, visit otexhere.com.
From the producers of Yellowstone, welcome to Texas, honey. Beth and Rip are back.
Well, legacy is a beautiful thing.
A new original series.
But only if it survives.
Family's the only thing we're fighting for.
This life here is gonna work, isn't it?
We'll make it work. That can make this a lot harder for all y'all.
And peace will have to wait.
Dutton Ranch. Stream now only on Paramount Plus. T's and C's apply. Subscription required. 18 plus.
Football, it's in your DNA. And at SpreadX Sports, new customers can earn up to £80 in free bets after placing a £10 World Cup outright bet. Get an initial £10 free fixed odds bet and a further free £10 bet for every game your chosen nation wins. Visit spreadx.com/DNA for full T's and C's. SpreadX Sports, it's in our DNA. 18 plus gambleaware.org. First World Cup outright bet only qualifies. Free bets capped at £80. Free bet stakes not included in any winnings. Free bets must be claimed within 14 days.
TalkSport Breakfast in partnership with Arnold Clark. We guarantee the best used car deals in the UK. Move up through the gears every morning with top of the range sports edition, ABS, story breaking news, and more goal talk to the gallon. Plus a stellar lineup of super celebrity sports guests as standard. TalkSport Breakfast every weekday morning from 6 on TalkSport with Arnold Clark. We guarantee the best used car deals in the UK.
Saturday afternoon, the Championship playoff final live on TalkSport.
Hull City versus Middlesbrough.
That is huge. Coverage from 2, kick-off 3:30. All or nothing football.
He scores with a beauty.
Saturday afternoon, the Championship playoff final live on TalkSport.
Good evening, this is Kick-Off on TalkSport. It's a pleasure to have your company, and you are listening in to the Wales legend, Dean, the storyteller Saunders. Hat-trick darts wins.
I'm on a hat-trick, yeah. What, you were the Slayer, weren't you? What was your nickname? Natalie the Slayer.
Destroyer Sawyer.
What, Destroyer Sawyer?
I can't even remember it. Oh, that's terrible.
Well, what a victory.
Yeah, that was
You
last.
beat Darren Bent.
Yeah, but that was the year before. Excuse me, year before, and then he got his revenge.
But be honest, in your sporting career, in one career, since you were a baby,
it's been long.
is the Darren Bent victory at the
pinnacle.
darts
Absolute pinnacle.
the height of your
At
scoring?
home, I've got a massive trophy just for it. Yeah.
It's on camera. It's on film.
And it's forever to be remembered.
So when your son has children, you'll be able to show your gratitude. A big Darren Bent who had his own coach and he's got his own dart.
That was the best of it. The fact that he was so focused on it for weeks and weeks. I just rock up.
You didn't have any lessons, did you?
Only on the day. Only on the day.
From Tom Clayton.
Tom Clayton needs it. He's a darts phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has about something like, you'll probably get, I'm probably nowhere near the number, 20 odd sets of darts. Sets.
I'm going to move
I
on.
don't even own one.
I'm going to move on to snooker next. I might retire from darts.
Then you have to take around your golf team.
Well, I played golf with Mark Williams yesterday.
Oh, lovely.
Celtic man. Mark Williams, a three-time world champion.
Oh, lovely.
So he said he'd coach me.
Oh, well, that's not fair. You're being a ringer, basically.
Well,
being coached by a pro.
It's not what you know.
That is so true. That is life in general, is it not? Look, there's plenty more coming out of Aston Villa today because they've been having their trophy parade. This in the city of the centre of Birmingham. Our reporter Tyler Morris has been catching up with some of the fans who are there.
It's an unbelievable feeling, you know, to think where we were 7 years ago, coming up from the Championship, and what Emery's done, what Dean Smith has done. I think many people don't sort of see what Dean Smith did as well, but it's a great feeling to be here. I think the success we've achieved, the owners, the backing they've given, the players, they gave 100%. Really proud to be a Villa fan today.
And how excited are you to celebrate with those players?
Yeah, I think there's been nothing like this before. It's actually going to feel more real, seeing that trophy and, you know, seeing the players. I think it's a monumental day for Aston Villa Football Club. This is just a start, as you saw yesterday. You know, Unai Emery's a winner, and you know these players are behind a winner really. So we can only go onwards. Champions League as well, qualification over the line. So we've got really big things coming for this football club, and this is just the foundation of it really.
Just the start then, many of those Villa fans saying there. Give us the sense of what you think Villa could go on to do. And I know you've mentioned PSR, that of course is the huge factor in all of this, but you know, the size of the club, the fact that it has been sort of lying there dormant essentially for so long, having not won a trophy. What do you think a trophy like this can do for them?
Don't forget, I know it's a swear word in Birmingham, but Birmingham City.
Oh, right, okay.
Birmingham City are a massive club as well. They're coming with a late run. They'll arrive soon into league.
In a Champions League?
In the next 5 years.
We have to get into the Champions League first, no?
Money talks. They'll get in.
Okay, alright. I think
you know,
I'm slightly, but I'm not disputing it. That's fine.
And it's again, the need in Birmingham. Two big clubs, but Villa's getting bigger and bigger. Collecting more and more Villa fans, kids, all want to be Villa fans, and they've got a really good team at the moment. And then when you look and you sit down and you go, right, what can we achieve here? So the goalkeeper's good enough, isn't it? Martinez. Then Conser and Torres, centre-backs. So you'll need 4 really good ones for the Champions League next year. The full-backs, Dina and Matty Cash. But they've got 2 or 3 decent players who've had injuries who they can put in there. Then you look in midfield. Watkins is good enough. They probably need you've got Tammy Abraham there. Probably need another striker. They probably need another centre midfield player. And you'd be going like, well, where are we going shopping then? Are we shopping in Morrison's? No disrespect. Or are we shopping in Waitrose? Are we competing with the salaries of the big clubs? Because you won't get them unless you pay the wages. You won't unless you're getting players on loan out of PSG and teams like that, Bayern Munich. You've got to pay the wages or they won't come. But it does help. You're in the Champions League, you've just won a cup. So if you go to a centre forward now who's, say for example, it was Dembele.
Okay.
Right, and you try and persuade Dembele to leave PSG to come to Aston Villa.
Right.
He'd probably say no right now, wouldn't he?
I would have thought so.
Liverpool would have a chance, Man City would have a chance, and Arsenal would have a chance probably, wouldn't they? So there's the next step for Villa.
But is that then, the only way they can get to that next step is to consistently finish, let's say, top 4 minimum, because who knows next season, the coefficients and all that, when it comes down to potentially 5 teams in the Champions League, it might not happen next season, depending on how teams do, but the Premier League obviously tends to do all right. That would have to be the minimum then, for Villa, because to compete, Ousmane Dembele isn't going to want to come if they're playing in the Europa League, say, in the season 2 times, or whatever it is.
No, if you keep getting in that Champions League and you become one of the clubs that get in there.
Yeah.
So they'll have to do it every year. But with the spending rules, and last year they had to sell Douglas Luiz, who was probably the best midfield player at the time, just to balance the books. And it looks like they're going to have to do it again.
That is the concern, isn't it?
And the manager might not stay. When he weighs it all up.
Yeah, I don't feel that with Art. I don't feel that with Emery.
I don't.
Where would he go for the first question? Because everything seems to be filled now.
Well, I'm trying to put a price on you being in control as a manager, because I've had it myself. Obviously, you want to be in control of who walks through the door and who goes out the door.
And he has that control.
He's got that at Villa, and he's been to Arsenal, he's been to PSG, where he's probably never had that sort of. So he might like the job he's got. Hopefully, he likes the job at Villa. He's in control. They trust him to bring players in. You don't really need anyone above him.
No.
Recruitment.
Well, he is the manager.
He's the judge. Yeah, I can judge a player. He'll be saying, I'll decide who comes in. It's a jigsaw puzzle.
But that's why I don't think he'd want to leave Aston Villa yet.
That is the main thing, I think. If he stays, it's because he's in control of Aston Villa.
And he enjoys it, and he loves it.
And he's gained that power. Like Arteta, I think he's been at Arsenal long enough now to decide who comes into the club and who's going out of the club.
That's it.
Jurgen Klopp had it. So did Pep Guardiola. You earn that. Mourinho had it. You have to earn it, and I think he's done enough to say to the board of directors and all the staff that they employ, I know more about football than you. So I don't need to ask you what we're going to do next. I know more about football than all of you. And I've proved it.
Well, it's been a fabulous week. It certainly has for Aston Villa, especially when you think back to the start of last season as well, because let's not forget, as we mentioned earlier, they'd already secured Champions League football after that win over Liverpool before this final. But when you go back to the start of the season, they couldn't win a game. What was it, 8 games or so?
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe not as much, but they couldn't win a game. And they looked a little lost. I remember when my team played them very early on, it didn't look right at all. And maybe that was the hangover of missing out on Champions League qualification. But now they'll be thinking, we didn't need that, didn't we? Because look, we won a trophy. So
the players come off the hymn sheet now. So Villa play a high line, and the plan is, when we win the ball back, we're compact. So the opposition will try and play through us. When they play a pass that doesn't exist and we intercept it, Ollie Watkins, first thought. You either slide it down the side, put it over the top, but your first thought is, can you feed Ollie Watkins? And I think they started passing it sideways a bit and thinking they would just keep the ball. And they went back to being a bit more forward passing. John McGinn makes a difference, you know. Every time he gets it, he passes the ball forward. So that helps.
And they did have a lot of injuries throughout the season, in midfield in particular, with John McGinn missing a portion of it as well. I said 8 games, it wasn't 8 games, it was less than that, by the way. But we won't go into it. Right, lots more to come on the show. And if you're a Villa fan and you simply just can't get enough of that Europa League win last night, why not check out the latest TalkSport Daily with that's our podcast. It's Adrian Durham, Andy Townsend, Gabby Archibald dissect an unforgettable night for Villa, reflecting on a remarkable performance and what it can mean for the club's future. They ask whether this marks the start of a new era under Emery too, whilst paying tribute to the manager after his 5th Europa League triumph. Brilliant. That is the TalkSport Daily, available on all podcast platforms right now. Okay, on the way next, we're going to get stuck into Spygate, because the written reasons have now been published as to why Southampton have been expelled for the playoffs. What does it mean for the club, and what does it mean for the manager? That's next. You're listening to Kick Off on TalkSport with Blackbooks. It's 18 and over, campbellaware.org.
Kick Off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18 plus campbellaware.org.
Make it matter. Make it count. Make it precise. Perfect. Profitable. Make every job bang on. Make it worth every early start. Make it home for the kids' bath time. Make time to hit the gym. Make it inspirational. Make your mark and make a mark on others. Make The Apprentice fall for the oldest trick in the book. Make it tea with 2, coffee with 1, bacon with brown. Make it to the match. Make that catch-up with your mates. Make it to the end of another busy week. Make it happen with Blum. Your world made better. Find out more at Blum.
Football, it's in your DNA. And at SpreadX Sports, new customers can sign up for £80 in free bets after placing a £10 World Cup outright bet. Get an initial £10 free fixed odds bet and a further free £10 bet for every game your chosen nation wins. Visit spreadx.com/DNA for full T's and C's. SpreadX Sports, it's in our DNA. 18 plus gambleware.org. Chris World Cup outright bet only qualifies. Free bets capped at £80. Free bet stakes not included in any winnings. Free bets must be claimed within 14 days.
If your business is accused of damaging a client's property, for example, accidentally pouring tea all over their expensive audio equipment, really sorry about that, by the way, then Hiscox could help protect you. The story of your business, underwritten by Hiscox Business Insurance, subject to already holding a relevant Hiscox policy and subject to policy eligibility, terms and conditions.
At AJ Bell, we believe investing is for everyone, even people who know nothing about investing. Like Keith, who thought dividends were a boy band. Jessica, who thought compound interest was giving dating out. And Sue thought FTSE 100 was a bit of under-the-table fun, which surprised her accountant. If we can make investing feel good for them, it's no wonder which have recommended us 8 years running. AJ Bell, feel good investing. The value of your investments can go up or down.
This Sunday, TalkSport will bring you full coverage of the final day of the Premier League. And with European spots up for grabs and West Ham and Spurs fighting to avoid relegation, there's everything to play for. And as if that's not exciting enough, TalkSport Bet are the broadcast super boost to see off the season in style. 2 or more goals to be scored in every Premier League match on the final day. Current price 7-2. Broadcast super boosted price 4-1. TalkSport Bet. Broadcaster, bring it on bookie. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus gambleware.org.
Horsby and Jacobs every weekday afternoon from 1 on TalkSport with Tool Station. First stop, Tool Station. Drilling down all the big sporting stories of the day and delivering a cutting-edge catalogue of big-name guests, including all the latest news, some outrageous and a trailer load of laughs. Don't miss the nation's favourite sporting lunch with the legendary Horsby and Jacobs. Weekday afternoon from 1 on TalkSport with Tool Station. First stop, Tool Station.
However, it's TalkSport Bet. It's the station on the dial that's been here for a while. That's TalkSport, alright. That's TalkSport, alright. I like Premier League. It's more fun than a beat. That's TalkSport, alright. That's TalkSport, alright. It's the easiest way to have your own say. From Champions League to World title fights. Then the other team calls, and they're all talking balls. That's TalkSport, alright. Hello, man. It's a bit of a radio station for penny sport and lads and lasses. TalkSport. It's a real body dazzler. The UK's fastest great goals night network. Kick off.
Good evening, this is Kick-Off on TalkSport with the former Wales striker Dean Saunders and me, Matthew Sawyer. Throughout today, and no doubt maybe throughout this evening, the news from the England squad will continue to filter through as to who is in and who is out. This all ahead of tomorrow morning's announcement of when Thomas Tuchel will name his 26-man squad for this World Cup. Now, it's not confirmed, but TalkSport understands the England squad is likely to look like this when announced tomorrow. There'll be 3 goalkeepers of Pickford, Henderson and Trafford, a defensive with James, Livramento, O'Reilly, Byrne, Ponza, Gahey, Stones, Kwanzaa and Rice. There's also in midfield choices of Anderson, Henderson, Kobbie Mainoo, Bellingham and Rodgers, and then you've got Eze, Saka, Madueke, Rashford, Gordon, Ivan Toney, Harry Kane and Ollie Watkins.
Oh, still a good squad, isn't it?
I mean, listen.
Have we tried picking another squad that's not got him? That'd be a good squad as well.
You could definitely name that as well. Now, I only named 25 players there. That's because we're still unsure about the 26th, but potentially Miles Lewis-Skelly is what we understand could make up that 26-man squad. He's not played a lot of football, has he, this season? But
but do you know what? Young lads like that in training, they make the training session work. Their enthusiasm for, closing down, and they speed the games up. So I can understand that one. He's probably not going to start a game, but important on the training pitch every day for keeping the tempo of training up. They'll be thinking about that as well.
I know we can link it to Wales that you were saying, and of course when you were part of John Toshak's coaching staff, you weren't blessed obviously with the squad depth that England had. But how much did a player's attitude, their personality come into it?
Well, after doing it for 3 years, I know this sounds simple, right? The job is picking the right team and tactics. Not so much man management, because you're not with them long enough. The problem you got is, like I'll give you, I know it's Wales, I'll give you an example. Joe Ledley played against somebody, and he was like unbelievably good in this game. Man of the match, can't remember the game. The next game was 3 months later, and he got injured. After our game, he got injured and didn't play for 2 months. So when we got to the game, he's first name on the sheet, isn't it, Joe Ledley? So you've got to watch him in training, and it's your experience. And I look John Toshak's experience as a man. He looked at players in training to see if they were, I suppose, like looking at racehorses to decide if they're fit. Because you haven't seen them for 3 months, and you just fingers crossed that they're fit. And he picked Joe in this game, and he was like a different player. He weren't fit because he hadn't played any games.
Yeah.
So if you get that wrong, you don't get another bite of the cherry. You've got the team selection wrong, and then the rest of it was tactics. How are we going to set up against Germany? How are we going to set up against Malta? And his experience, the manager's experience, decides that just on 4 days training. The man management thing, keep the players happy, as John said to me when we had a buffet. No wonder we never qualified. We had a buffet that was like a breakfast buffet in Las Vegas. It had everything: Chinese, Indian, profiterole rolls. Honestly, I said to John once, John, this can't be right. This is like naan bread and chips.
Where were you for this?
Wales. We were in Wales.
In Wales?
Yeah. So we got 2 chefs. Two
This
chefs.
is for breakfast?
No, it was just for, like every meal we had.
Oh, just for
It was like being in Las Vegas, right? So I was walking around, and I said, John, this can't be right. Chips. And they said, and he just ignored. I just thought because he liked it. He had his plate was full, so he was eating it, and he just shake his head at me. And then they come in the next day and they had a chocolate fountain. You know when you put marshmallows under it?
Love the chocolate fountain. Oh, this is getting
So I've gone, John, no, he's taking the mickey now. He's got one of them chocolate fountains. We can't feed the players. Honestly, he said, Ding. You'll learn, son, you'll learn. He said, have you heard about people who come to eat? Food makes you happy. He said, we can't get them fit in a week. We can't get them unfit in a week. But we can keep them happy. The food keeps them happy. They're in their rooms then for 5 days. So food makes you happy.
Yeah.
So I thought he was wrong at the start. And then I went, all right.
It's sports science.
Fair enough. Sports science. When they got back to the clubs, what have you been doing? No, but...
What, a few pounds?
But like I said, it's tactics and team selection. Picking the team on the day where they're all fit and ready, raring for action.
Okay. Well, let's reiterate that England squad that we here at TalkSport understands is likely to look. It's Pickford, Henderson, Trafford as the goalkeepers. Then you have a defence of James, Livramento, O'Reilly, Byrne, Konza, Gahey, Stones, Kwanzaa and Rice. The midfield with obviously attacking options. Wingers are, I should say Rice in this one, Anderson, Henderson, Kobbie Mainoo, Bellingham, Rodgers, Eze, Saka, Meki, Rashford and Gordon. And then there's 3 strikers that he has selected in Harry Kane, obviously, Ollie Watkins back in after missing out in the last squad, and Ivan Toney, who's not been involved for quite a while with England. That's what we believe, and also Miles Lewis-Skelly, we think, is also going to get the nod too. We'd love to know what you make of that squad. Are you confident that that is the squad that can deliver a World Cup? 03717 223344. That's the number to WhatsApp us on. That's the number to call us on as well. Or you can text us at 81089. Let us know what you think of that, and is that a winning squad? This Saturday, it is glory time in Giza as former 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk faces the Dutch kickboxing legend Rico Verhoeven with the WBC heavyweight title up for grabs, as well as Jack Catterall and and Hannah Shiraz on the undercard. You can join DAZN Ultimate now and get Usyk versus Rico included at no extra cost. On the way next, we will talk Southampton too, but hopefully get some of your reaction to that potential England squad here on Kick-Off on TalkSport. Ladbrokes 18 and over, begambleaware.org.
Boxing updates on TalkSport with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at DAZN.com/boxing. Kick off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18+gambleaware.org.
I'm in the kitchen with Charlie Bigham. So what have we got here, Charlie? My brand new pan-fried pad thai noodles. Noodles? But you're Mr. Fish Pie guy. Guilty. And while ovens are roasting, the pan is king of noodling. Whether it's pad thai, yakisoba or laksa, finding that perfect texture is a bottomless noodle rabbit hole. But all I have to do is stir it in the pan for 6 minutes, right? Bingo! Try the new Charlie Bigham's Asian pan-fried noodle range. Handmade in my kitchen. Pan-fried in yours.
The Meal Deal Plus is now on the McDonald's Saver menu and comes with a choice of one of 5 bonus sides. Bag of mayo, chicken or cheese burger with medium fries, a selected drink and a bonus side, all for $5.59. We're talking a mini McFlurry, apple pie, 4 nuggets or even another mayo, chicken or cheeseburger on the side. Now that's Saver satisfaction. From 11 a.m. not on delivery. Includes a selected Saver menu burger, medium fries, selected medium drink and a selected bonus side. Price and participation may vary.
Football, it's in your DNA. And at SpreadX Sports, new customers can earn up to £80 in free bets after placing a £10 World Cup outright bet. Get an initial £10 free fixed odds bet and a further free £10 bet for every game your chosen nation wins. Visit spreadx.com/DNA for full T's and C's. SpreadX Sports, it's in our DNA. 18+gambleaware.org. First World Cup outright bet only qualifies. Free bets capped at £80. Free bet stakes not included in any winnings. Free bets must be claimed within 14 days.
Cricket. The unmistakable sound of leather on willow.
Absolute beauty. Fireworks.
Take the distance. Power ballads.
And t-shirt cannons.
Vitality Blast is back with the biggest local rivalries.
Cartwheeling stunts.
And sixes in the sun. Oh, wonderful technique. Have a blast with men's and women's T20 cricket starting 22nd of May.
Search Vitality Blast to get your tickets now.
After months of thrilling, unpredictable and electrifying Premier League drama, we enter a gripping finale on the final day.
The longest 2 big for this one.
Watch all 10 final day matches this Sunday with a flexible Now membership.
It was absolutely box office.
So why not? Head to nowtv.com for every game of the Premier League final day. 18+, UK only. Broadband 2.5 megabytes per second required.
This season, I want to feel it from the start. Want to beat the odds and prove them all wrong. Look them in the eye and say, want to bet? Bet Fred. 18+gambleaware.org.
Hawksby and Jacobs every weekday afternoon from 1 on TalkSport with Tool Station. First stop, Tool Station. Drilling down all the big sporting stories of the day and delivering a cutting-edge catalogue of big-name guests, including all the latest news, some outrageous views, and a trailer-load of laughs. Don't miss the nation's favourite sporting lunch with the legendary Hawksby and Jacobs. Weekday afternoons from 1 on TalkSport with Tool Station. First stop, Tool Station.
Tonight from 10, the Sports Bar on TalkSport.
Intoxicating opinion and spirited sports previews.
Just keep the ears on. We've been there and it'll spike them off. Right, now the show can really start. Here we go. Let's talk about the best game on the planet. Every week you kick your bums. Well, it's not every week. It's the Sports Bar. Tonight from 10 on TalkSport.
Good evening, welcome along to Kick-Off on TalkSport. It is the former Oxford striker, Dean Saunders, who's alongside me, Natalie Story. We're going to continue to talk about England a little bit later on after what we believe is the potential England squad that will be announced officially tomorrow. That'll be live on TalkSport in the morning from 9:45. Yes.
Forgot to tell you.
What?
I'm making a comeback at Oxford. End of the month.
Oh.
In a charity match. Graham Souness's charity.
Good luck, defenders, eh? Taking on you.
Not at the Manor Ground where I played.
Yes.
The new stadium.
You're playing at the new one.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, and if it goes well,
what, you're going to say you're available?
I might set my sights on the Euros.
Yeah.
I think that should last about 4 or 5 minutes. Do you know what the problem
Talk
is?
about this next story, go on.
Your Achilles snapping or your thighs snapping. I can't, like, face it, calf snapping.
Yeah.
Can't play golf. Can't do anything.
Is that the main thing?
Yeah,
Can't play
can't
golf.
play golf. Yeah.
Not the priority.
Why? And then you walk off going, why did I play? But
Doing it for charity.
for the charity, and the fans like seeing you in your kit again.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. You won't believe it. Some fans shout on to me, charity man, Saunders, you've lost your pace. I'm 61, mate.
Listen, the fact you're going to do it is the main thing. We've got to move on because we're going to talk about Spygate. With Southampton's appeal from expulsion denied, this Saturday's playoff final will be contested by Middlesbrough and Hull. Kick-off will be at 3:30 at Wembley live on TalkSport, but the shockwaves continue in terms of the severity of the punishment. This is the latest as we know it, with the EFL having now published the written reasons into the Spygate ruling against Southampton, and that expulsion and 4-point deduction was unanimously agreed by the Commission. Now, Southampton, as we know, admitted all the charges against them, hoping that cooperation would help their case. They unsuccessfully argued there was no sporting advantage to spying on 3 championship clubs. They tried to argue a £200,000 fine, as was given to Leeds, was sufficient. One of the most damning revelations is the EFL evidence that they were given, which was agreed with by the panel. The Spygate was authorised at senior level, and the task was delegated to an intern. The written reasons conclude Saints had a determined plan from the top down to gain a competitive advantage in competitions of real significance by deliberate attendance at opposition training grounds for the purpose of obtaining tactical and selection information. They also alerted, or told us, I should say, that Tonda Eckert testified he did not find the information useful, but this only confirmed that he was directly involved. That's an interesting part of that,
right,
when we think about the future of him. The panel says it was deplorable to use junior members of staff to conduct clandestine operations, adding they were put under pressure, even though as well some of them knew it was morally wrong. They conclude the integrity of the playoffs was seriously violated, and it is now understood that Eckert is in danger of being sanctioned by the FA and could even face disciplinary issues with Southampton. So what next for the club? Could the players take legal action themselves? And as we said, is Eckert's future in jeopardy too? Joining us to bring us the very latest from Southampton is the Daily Echo Saints reporter Alfie House. Alfie, good evening to you. How are you?
Evening, Alfie.
Good evening, guys. Yeah, very busy this week, as you can imagine. And I thought you read out a very interesting bit there that on the record said he didn't find the information useful. I mean, that didn't impress the panel by the sounds of it. It's not a great excuse, is it? Saying, sorry, I cheated, but it didn't help me.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so you were involved then, Tonda, if you knew about the information and didn't find it useful. I mean, it's just obviously flagging up that he was very much heavily involved. And Alfie, from what you know and maybe what you're hearing down on the south coast, what does that mean for Tonda Eckert?
Yeah, we read the reasons. Tom Eckert does accept that he authorised the spying operation, so it's very clear in writing that he admits he did authorise it. There's no mention of sporting director Johannes Spors, who is the head of the football department at the club. I think it leaves Tom Eckert's position largely untenable. I think the players have been in the training ground today to talk to him, to talk to the staff, and I think the owner is in town as well, and when that happens, it usually only means one thing. There is currently an FA investigation ongoing into Tom Eckert's conduct, so it might be the Saints wait until the conclusion of that, possibly. But I think, yeah, we're looking for a new manager. I think that's pretty clear.
I think obviously I've managed football teams, so I've got like mixed thoughts on this. Really, I think that everybody's wrong in it. I think there is information that can help you an awful lot. If you send someone to watch a training session on a Thursday, for example, and I've got 2 centre halves who are quick, and they're playing against Andy Carroll, for example, and it's training on Thursday morning. They're going to play Andy Carroll on Saturday. I'll leave one of the quick centre halves out, and I'll put a big centre half in. Or I can see the team shape. It gives me 2 days to prepare my team against a back 5, for example. I can spend 2 days working on it. Or set place, if they've got a set place, corners, who's going up? I'll watch the 5 players who come up, so I know before the game these 5 are coming up. So you can learn a bit which gives you an advantage. I thought Bielsa was bang out of order because we've got a code of conduct between us as managers that it's like cheap fare, isn't it? You know, you can't go and watch my team training, and we let each other use the training ground. If they're up the north, I would let them use the training ground, but I'd leave before they start training. I wouldn't watch, and we got a code of conduct. So the manager's wrong for doing it. It's like as if, has he not read the room? Bielsa got fined for doing it. It's brainless. They're sending 2 lads to watch training, but the punishment is ridiculous. What do I do? Ban the manager for 6 months, fine the club £3 million, and that'll do. Ban the manager for 6 months. To knock him out.
Well, I suppose in this situation, Alfie, Middlesbrough were clearly pushing for a sporting sanction as opposed to a financial one. I know what you're saying with Eckert, but that's clearly what they wanted to see, and that's what they've got out of this outcome.
Yeah, look, I agree with everything that's been said. I think that the club released a statement yesterday saying they believed it was a manifestly disproportionate punishment, and they listed a number of previous cases that clubs have been docked 4 points for, 6 points for, that were they perceived to be worse crimes than spying on an opposition training session. And I thought what you said there was interesting as well. Part of the evidence that Tom Reckert gave in the hearing, he actually filmed his training session on the Wednesday and on the Thursday and Friday and submitted them to show that he'd already picked his starting 11, he'd already picked his tactics, and that they didn't actually deviate at all after what he learned from the spying operation on Thursday, which again is a way of saying that we didn't gain a sporting advantage here. But the panel decided very clearly that you don't need sporting success to have gained an advantage. Just because you didn't win the game or didn't change your tactics, you still sought to get that information. So I agree that I think the punishment is harsh. And also, Middlesbrough are not involved in the case. So although they are the victims, technically, in this instance, it was the EFL versus Southampton. So I think maybe that surprised the club that they actually put Middlesbrough back into the competition.
There's only one person to blame for the whole thing, it's the manager. He sent 2 young lads to watch to film it. The players don't know.
I mean, I agree in that to a degree, but there was more than the manager involved in this. Not just
ban all them then.
No, what I'm as in because the suggestion was that these interns were put under pressure to carry out activities which they felt were at the least morally wrong. So they would have alerted that to somebody, whether it was just Tom Reckert, but I assume there might have been a few more in that conversation, that they probably shouldn't have been doing this. But they felt that they were in such a vulnerable position that they had no choice but to do it.
Do you think one of them would have said to him, do you realise that Bielsa got fined for doing this? 200 grand. They must have told the manager it's wrong. Bielsa got done for doing it.
Well, if they thought it was morally wrong, maybe they were thinking back, but I don't know if these particular individuals would have remembered that. It's not something necessarily...
They're frightened of losing their jobs.
That's clearly what it is.
So ban the manager for 6 months. Not all the players, it's not the fans, not the staff. Ban him. It was down to him. Ban him for 6 months. Rather than it's a £200 million game, and what else they can earn in the future. And all the players are now back to square one after playing in the Championship 3 times a week, battling like mad to get back in the Premier League, and because the managers made that decision, they all suffer. I think it's too harsh.
I think the players are furious. I think that's absolutely clear. The players have not had that. There's been 2 or 3 statements released already, and Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who got himself into a bit of trouble because he did a little bit of a spying celebration against Middlesbrough, he said that he wouldn't have done that if he knew about the severity of this. And he said that they weren't informed about the situation. Now, the fact that he's put that in a public statement suggests that he's annoyed about the fact that they weren't informed of the severity of the situation. The Leeds United case is interesting because that features prominently in the reasons. Southampton's defence, given the fact they said know the rules and that they didn't find the information useful, which was both laughed at, they used that Leeds as a real marker of the case to say, well, they got fined £200,000, so let's start with a financial sanction. But the EFL were very clear, or the independent panel were very clear, that those rules are outdated, there's brand new rules in place, and that's why it had to be a sporting sanction. Some of the fans can take some joy, maybe. They weren't meant to get 6 points deducted. They only got 4 next season because of how well they cooperated. So it could have been slightly worse, but I think that's probably a small consolation.
Alfie, what do you think the punishment should have been like?
I think it should have been a hefty fine and a points deduction, but obviously a little bit of skin in the game, like Palace London week in week out, so I recognise there are some biases there. I feel that the information gained probably wasn't material for a sporting advantage, but ultimately cheating is cheating, it's not acceptable. And I think that the club needs to take action to root out anybody that was involved in this. I think they have to be really serious about it and rebuild their reputation.
Alfie, is this cheating then, right? Because we all do it, all managers do it. You say to one of the players, say it's McAllister at Liverpool, ask your mate if he's playing on Saturday, who plays for Aston Villa. Ask your mate if he's playing Saturday. So is that cheating?
It's a question, right? Yeah,
when he comes back and says, yeah,
no, you're right. Look, yeah, you're right. It's a good point. There's a lot of cans of worms that can be opened from this. I mean, diving in the last minute of the game, winning a penalty and going through in the competition is cheating, but that isn't punished by being expelled. So there are loads of instances of cheating which aren't given a death sentence. And somebody at the club told me that they felt it was being given a death sentence for shoplifting. That's how they felt they'd been punished. So, look, disproportionate, absolutely.
The problem is, unfortunately for Southampton in this scenario, is because it happened, as in why this has all come to light, during the preparation for a playoff, which is seen as a separate competition. Within the Commission's report, they do say that if this had happened during the season, the points deduction would have been normal as a penalty. But because this is basically a one-off type competition, it wouldn't be fair to just give a points deduction, because it's just not going to, help them in any way in the fact that Southampton might go up. They also spoke about a financial penalty being proposed by Southampton in this situation, and they in the Commission felt that actually that wouldn't help either, because if they win the playoff, they're going to get so much money that a fine would be nothing to them at the end of the day. And also they were saying that this may act as an incentive for clubs to breach Regulation 127, which is the observing the training 72 hours before a game, and pay the fine in an effort to increase the chance of promotion. So that is why they decided the only outcome was expulsion from the playoffs.
I'd like to know the name of the man that first suggested we chuck him out of the playoffs. One person would have been sat in there going, why don't we chuck him out?
Maybe so, but it's still a unanimous decision at the end of the day. Alfie, I appreciate it's been a very busy week for you. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alfie.
That's Alfie House, the Southampton reporter for the Daily Echo. Of course, it will be Middlesbrough against Hull then in that Championship playoff final on Saturday, kicking off at 3:30. It will be live on TalkSport. Up next, we will celebrate Arsenal's title win and ask what it means for the club. Can they kick on now? And will another season of effective, if not effervescent football, satisfy the fan base at the Emirates? You're tuning in to kick off on TalkSport. It's with Ladbrokes 18 and over.
Kick off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18+ gambleaware.org.
The Meal Deal Plus is now on the McDonald's Saver menu and comes with a choice of one of 5 bonus sides. Bag of mayo, chicken or cheeseburger with medium fries, a selected drink and a bonus side, all for $5.59. We're talking a mini McFlurry, apple pie, 4 nuggets or even another mayo, chicken or cheeseburger on the side. Now that's Saver satisfaction. From 11 a.m. not on delivery. Includes a selected Saver menu burger, medium fries, selected medium drink and a selected bonus side. Price and participation may vary.
Make it matter. Make it count. Make it precise. Perfect. Profitable. Make every job bang on. Make it worth every early start. Make it home for the kids' bath time. Make time to hit the gym. Make it inspirational. Make your mark and make a mark on others. Make The Apprentice fall for the oldest trick in the book. Make it tea with 2, coffee with 1, bacon with brown. Make it to the match. Make that catch up with your mates. Make it to the end of another busy week. Make it happen with Blum. Your world made better. Find out more at blum.com.
Este es un anuncio de radio de Hiscox Business Insurance, que pretende mostrarle ciertos riesgos y peligros de los que Hiscox Business Insurance puede ayudarle a protegerse. If your business gets blamed by a client for a mistake, like accidentally recording the radio ad in the wrong language, Hiscox could help protect you. The story of your business, underwritten by Hiscox Business Insurance, subject to already holding an Hiscox policy and subject to policy eligibility terms and conditions.
Why go small when you can go grand? Meet the new Vauxhall Grand and Griffin. Striking alloys, sleek black roof, heated front seats, and 10-inch touchscreen. Everything you need for life on the move. Grand on style, grand on tech, grand on value. And during the Vauxhall sales event, get a grand off the new Grand and Griffin, or any other new Vauxhall on top of all other offers. Search Vauxhall Car Offers. Offer to private individuals, £1,000 including VAT saving on new car orders between 15 to 31st of May. Must be registered by 30th of June 2026. 18+ to supply.
Football, it's in your DNA. And at SpreadX Sports, new customers can earn up to £80 in free bets after placing a £10 World Cup outright bet. Get an initial £10 free fixed odds bet and a further free £10 bet for every game your chosen nation wins. Visit spreadx.com/DNA for full T's and C's. SpreadX Sports, it's in our DNA. 18 plus gambleware.org. First World Cup outright bet only qualifies. Free bets capped at £80. Free bet stakes not included in any winnings. Free bets must be claimed within 14 days.
When it comes to drama, this is a monumental moment. Tension, big chance here, and elation. And the ball is in the back of the net. The Premier League has it all, and this season you can hear it all on Game Day. TalkSport's essential Premier League destination. Get set for Game Day on TalkSport with Sky Sports. With titles on the line and fights for survival, the run-in is where it all counts. You can stream all of Sky Sports live with a Flexible Now membership.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. Talk Sport. Talk Sport.
Good evening, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. It's our understanding this evening that Ivan Toney has been selected for England's World Cup squad. That's despite Thomas Tuchel's previous
training weren't at the same level of those in the squad who obviously have been playing at a much higher level domestically. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how match fit Ivan Toney is. But it's a really interesting one.
Our chief football correspondent Alex Crook there. Elsewhere, Harry Maguire's told TalkSport he's shocked and gutted at his omission from the squad. Steve Bruce couldn't quite believe it either.
Well, that is a big call. I am absolutely shocked. I thought he was a stick-on, especially the end of season which he's had. He's the one centre-back where really he's experienced in these sort of competitions.
Harry Maguire's mum has taken to social media, tweeting the words absolutely gutted. We're also told there's no room for Morgan Gibbs, White, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden and Adam Wharton. We'll bring you all the reaction from the squad announcement from 9:45 tomorrow morning. Elsewhere, an independent panel investigating Southampton's spying on rival teams has ruled head coach Tom de Ecker authorised it to gain a competitive advantage. The written reasons for the club being kicked out of the playoffs have been published by the EFL. The panel also criticised Southampton for using junior members of staff to spy on other sides, calling it deplorable. Middlesbrough take their place though, and boss Kim Helberg says he feels for Saints fans.
A lot of emotions. It's been a crazy time, back and forth, a lot of different emotions from losing the game to everything being involved, trying to keep your head in the game for what may happen, and it's been a lot of emotions, and I'm very happy to be here.
Get all the latest on the website.
Sport News.
The Equalities Watchdog has confirmed in new guidance men or women only spaces such as changing rooms and toilets must be used on the basis of biological sex, and the Chancellor set out measures to help ease the cost of living for millions of households.
TalkSport weather with Quickest. With over 400 EV-ready centres across the UK, we're top of the league for electric car owners. Visit quickest.com and book today.
Cloudy and breezy in the north and northwest with a few outbreaks of rain. Elsewhere, warm and sunny spells developing tomorrow morning.
Kick off on DAB, on your mobile, on your smart speaker. Get stuck in. The thoroughly world-famous Kick-Off. TalkSport, enviously super-fast football machine. Paramount and peerless player recognition and tackle translation. It's game on. Cool, quick, compulsory. Kick-Off with Natalie Sawyer on TalkSport.
Good evening, this is Kick-Off on TalkSport. Coming up in the final hour, we'll get stuck into all the big stories around the final day of the Premier League. What legacy does Pep Guardiola leave if it is to be his last match in charge of Manchester City when they take on Aston Villa on Sunday? Who out of West Ham and Spurs is most likely to avoid the drop? One will stay, one will go, for sure. And we'll continue to preview tomorrow's England squad announcement. We'll take your calls if you want to get involved. 03717 223344. This is Kick-Off on TalkSport. And it is the coach. Oh, I thought I'd pick you up there. Alongside me, Natalie Sawyer. Sorry? No, I can maybe say.
No, I was just thinking there about Pep, what you said about Pep. He's not, I bet some people say he's changed football. I think he's a trendsetter.
Well, why don't you leave it there? And we'll pick it up
I'll leave
later.
it there.
We'll pick it up later, I promise you that. But I like it. It's time now for us to take a look at the latest football action with Ladbrokes.
The big preview on Talk Sport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Certainly been quite the week for English sides when you think about Aston Villa winning their first trophy for 30 years, and now Arsenal, of course, have been since Tuesday celebrating the fact that they are champions of England once more, that after a wait of 22 years.
Well, I think the favourite is always the one that won the previous year. Somebody that has to come and take that crown away from them.
Gabriel has headed Arsenal in front. Arsenal lead by 2-1.
If they want to cause mayhem at corners in order to score the goals that will get them the title, they've got every right to do that.
And there is a new hero in this part of the capital. His name is Eberici Eze. It's Arsenal 4, Tottenham 1.
We're not seeing what we've seen years gone by where they couldn't quite get over the line. They find a way to win them.
Really does set his stall out in terms of making sure he's secure at the back.
In elite sport, you don't get given anything. It's not easy. Maybe it's the idea of what's at stake.
Is Arsenal's title dream fading away? Manchester City 2, Arsenal 1.
This is not the same Arsenal that it used to be, 2 seasons ago.
West Ham 0, Arsenal 1, Leandro Trossard. This could be the biggest shot. Headed in by Havertz. Of course it's a corner. Of course it's a set-piece goal.
Our supporters, they've been waiting for 22 years for something like this to happen.
There's the full-time whistle. Arsenal, for the first time in 22 years, are champions of the Premier League.
Yes, it was confirmed on Tuesday after Bournemouth's draw with Manchester City meant that the Gunners were able to celebrate their fourth Premier League title without even kicking a ball, having picked up a win against Burnley on Monday night. So it's 1 down, 1 to go with the Champions League final on the horizon. Mikel Arteta has already ended one drought, but can he do what no Gunners manager has ever done before and lead the side to their first ever Champions League success? I'm pleased to say, joining us to revel in the glory, it is Arsenal fan and podcaster as well from the Highbury squad, Sophie Nicolau. How are you, Sophie?
Hi, Sophie.
Good evening, guys. How are you?
Oh, you're looking well.
How many Arsenal layers have you got on there?
So, Natalie, you know me quite well.
Yeah.
I never ever wear merch. I'm not a merch girl. I vowed never to buy Arsenal merch after the Southampton 3-3 at the Emirates a few seasons ago. And yesterday I went to the Armoury and literally just spent way too much money. And this jacket is actually woolly, so I'm about to take it off. But we have had to sit and listen to so much nonsense that this moment, this time is great. But can I just say something about you and Dean real quick? Because I love coming on Talk Sport and talking and bantering and stuff. And Natalie's been a great guest on Highbury Squad, and we adore her. And I just love how you both have handled talking about Arsenal this season, and Danny Murphy too. You deserve a shout out. And Dean, especially being an ex-player, I've heard you talk about Mikel, the tactics, how we play, what we wanted or needed to do in order to win. And I just appreciate those kinds of voices in understanding kind of what the ultimate goal was for us this season. It wasn't to play beautiful football, it was to close the Premier League title. And the team did exactly that. And I just wanted to give you two a little shout out because you were always kinder to us than some others.
We don't know what to say to that because we're not very good at taking compliments.
Well, I'm going to start taking my layers off now.
Do you know what though? You turn the clock back, right? Arsene Wenger, under his watch, there were 17 contracts up. Ozil, Sanchez ended up. They let the contracts run down, they got 300 grand a week. Aaron Ramsey knocked the door and said, I want that as well. Ended up leaving. You had a load of players. I remember Bayern Munich away, got beat 5-0. You got a load of players who want to play when you've got the ball and don't want to play when you haven't got the ball. Not playing for the shirt, just turning up and picking their wages up. and he gradually got them out. Aubameyang gone, Pepe gone, Lacazette. And that squad he's got there, it's took him 5 or 6 years. Everyone's got a good attitude. There's not one player sat on the bench who's got a bad attitude, where they used to have loads. So I think he deserves a pat on the back, and that's why you get 1-0s. Players who dig in and are prepared to scrap when you haven't got the ball. And I think they're going to beat PSG, by the way.
And he does.
I love that. I love that.
I think they are.
And I know that he's not just saying that. I know that Dean really actually believes that. And you're right. One of the things too that I think the squad deserves a lot of credit for is exactly what Dean is saying. You never heard any moans or groans from players who were benched, not publicly anyway. I think we did a really good job of handling things behind closed doors. Miles Lewis-Skelly was disappointed for most of the season for not being able to be given an opportunity. And we heard Declan and Mikel talk about how, Mikel was hard on him. But we never knew that. And I just love that we've gone from an apathetic attitude to now an Arsenal 2.0, where the player DNA is so elevated that you need to meet, especially with Mikel, certain criteria and non-negotiables to be part of this team. And you mentioned Aubameyang, and I totally supported that at the time. And I think that he showed at that moment that he was going to be the last call on what happens at Arsenal Football Club. And he deserves a lot of credit. Look, there are a lot of people behind the scenes who have helped Arsenal to this point. It's not just Mikel. There's a lot of people that have brought us to this point. But people have to believe in someone or something. And there was a time where I didn't believe in Mikel. I couldn't see the path forward. In those early 2 years on our show with Super Kev, he used to school me and talk to me about, so if it's the players, and once they cross that white line, and my goodness, this season we've seen them cross that white line and really battle and bring Arsenal to this point. But if we're going to be honest, and I was on a panel last night with Adrian Clark, he was talking to everyone too about, this is Mikel's moment, and I really do feel that it is him and the players, but also our owners who have supported him throughout this process. If he was at another club, I'm not sure that happens, Natalie Dean.
What about the fact that they've really curbed their discipline? No red cards this season, 6 last time around.
Do you know what I like? I like now that we're talking about the real Arsenal of 25 and 26. This nonsense about bottling and tactics and set-piece FC and all of this stuff. And now we're focused on, well, how did they really do it? And when you look at all of the detail, and you look at the first half of the season especially, where we really were actually so dominant, and to have no red card in an entire Premier League season is insane. We know Kai Havertz got away with one, but it just shows you the discipline, because red cards were a huge issue under Mikel when he joined the club, and to have Kurt Laff as well just shows you the growth, and now he has the team really together.
I was just thinking that it's helped selling Granit Xhaka, hasn't it?
Did help the stats a little bit, Dean. You know what? You know how I feel? I'm wearing the O2 shirt, and we all know about the O2 team and their achievement. One of the things I've been talking to my friends about, and my cousin, at my cousin George house, and seeing his sons turn around during the Bournemouth game and say, I'm actually going to see Arsenal win a title. And you think about this new generation of fans that just haven't seen it. And, we're kind of this collective group of fans who have been waiting for this moment. I feel more connected to this title than I did to the Invincibles. And I love the Invincibles. And we've had these heroes for so long, but we've been so desperate for new heroes. Who can we sing about? Who can we start having the discussion about who's a real legend? And now we're there. And I feel connected, I think, mostly because I identify, I'm a North London girl from Palmer's Green, and I love that we have players from London in our team. They don't all have to be like the Highlanders, but they're from London, and they feel so connected. And, when they talk about the modern day players removed from the fan, really? Did anyone see at 5 a.m. Saka and Eze and Jurrien Timber and Declan walking around the Emirates? And that was the purest content, and it was organic, that I've seen in a long time. And I think players get, you know, a lot of flack these days for, you know, the money they earn and there's no connection. That's why I feel like when you see Eze and Saka and Declan, they know what it's like. They're London boys. They know what this means. And Mikel gets it. He's played for the club. And so that outsider-insider, and you mix that London base with the eclectic team that we have, it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing.
So, can you do the double in a word? Can you do it?
Why not us, Natalie?
I know. That's why I asked you the question.
And you nearly broke into full Cockney there, right at the end of that.
And this is so, we've been chatting for so long, as in for so many years, and the wait is finally over. You're Premier League champions, and I'm really happy for you. And thank you for being with us. Enjoy the week, enjoy the celebration.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you both so much. At ease, boys.
Sophie Nicolau, thank you very much. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. It's 18 over gamblerware.org.
The big preview on Talk Sport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gamblerware.org.
Remember, Arsenal go to Crystal Palace on the final day of the season. You kind of feel like that might be a processional kind of game where they're celebrating. Palace are thinking ahead to the Conference League final as well. We will, of course, look ahead to the final games of this Premier League season. And next, in particular, we'll focus on the relegation battle. Dino also wants to talk about a certain Mo Salah. That's coming next on Kickoff on TalkSport.
Kickoff on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18 plus gamblerware.org.
Why go small when you can go grand? Meet the new Vauxhall Grand Am Griffin. Striking alloys, sleek black roof, heated front seats, and 10-inch touchscreen. Everything you need for life on the move. Grand on style, grand on tech, grand on value. And during the Vauxhall sales event, get a grand off the new Grand Am Griffin or any other new Vauxhall on top of all other offers. Search Vauxhall Car Offers. Offer to private individuals, £1,000 including VAT saving on new car orders between 30 to 31st of May. Must be registered by 30th of June 2026. 18 plus T's to supply.
43% of surveyed UK businesses suffered a cyber attack last year. Jen knew that. She spoke to her Bieber broker Ben and took out cyber insurance. Tom didn't. Then the worst happened. Tom was helpless. He was locked out, unable to run his business. But Jen's cyber insurance policy had 24/7 incident response and expert support to help protect her business. Make sure you have cyber insurance. Visit benthebroker.co.uk today.
In a world of noise and uncertainty, IG is the investment platform that backs you. Take our flexible stocks ISA, which gives you the freedom to withdraw funds anytime and replace them in the same tax year, all without losing your £20,000 tax-free allowance. And if that's not enough, pay no commission on your stocks, shares and ETFs when you invest with IG. IG. Trade, invest, progress. The capital's at risk. Other fees may apply. Tax treatment depends on individual circumstances and is subject to change.
With a Travis Perkins trade account, you open the door to big trade deals every single month. And we've gone big on landscaping right through May. Get Marshall's pedal utility paving in different colours and sizes from only £4.50 per slab. Join the club and get this and other big landscaping trade deals this May with your trade account. Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. All prices exclude VAT to 20%. Terms and conditions apply.
Switching to Vodafone full fibre broadband is now as easy as pie. Oh, freshly baked. It's a walk in the park. Hello, little fella. It's like taking candy from a baby. Come on, as if I'd do that. With One Touch Switch, it's easy. We sort everything out for you. We even contact your current provider. Plus, we'll help towards leaving fees. Switch today to full fibre broadband with Vodafone. Up to £200 credit to cover leaving fees. More information and terms at vodafone.co.uk/broadband.
Talk Sport Drive all this week from 4 with Giacomo. Get the latest sports news, get the top football names, get the goals going in, get all the big games, get phone-ins, get face-offs, get fury, get fun, get absolute loons, and get in my stuff. Get red hot takes, get sharp dressed fans, get it off your chest, get it in your van, get it on the go, get it on the pod, get it live at 4, and get that. Discussion, disruption and dissent on the show that just gets it. TalkSport Drive, all this week from 4 with Giacomo. Get the nod. Tomorrow morning from 6.
It's the TalkSport Superstar Breakfast, mate.
This is the best you've ever had. Don't we have a little bit of dust off? When I get in my head more when I'm...
Hey boys.
Mic'd up for Superstar Breakfast.
The latest sports show in the world. TalkSport Superstar Breakfast.
Tomorrow morning from 6.
Here we go.
You're listening to Kick Off here on TalkSport with the Liverpool striker Dean Saunders and me, Natalie Sawyer. The latest episode of How to Win the World Cup is now live. Matt Ford and comedian Susie McCabe speak with the former Scotland midfielder Jackie McNamara to reflect on Steve Clarke's squad announcement and discuss the Tartan Army's chances in America this summer.
Obviously, Scotland have Brazil again this time. What advice would you give to the current squad, having faced them in 1998?
I mean, when we got the team through and with Craig, you had the real Ronaldo, you had Rivaldo, Cafu, Roberto Carlos, Dunga, the right through Mario, Bebeto, and we actually got their team through into their dressing room, and we'd done all this stuff the night before, and Craig thought Nielsen would be starting before Bebeto, and he's like, he says, great news. He says, they're going with Nielsen instead of Bebeto. He says, he can't get a club. And we went out and we're doing it, and they all lined up to go out at the Stade de France, and they looked $1 million.
That was former Scotland midfielder Jackie McNamara there on How to Win the World Cup, available now wherever you get your podcasts and on the TalkSport World Cup YouTube channel. Speaking of the World Cup, just a little reminder for you of what we believe to be the big stories ahead of tomorrow's England squad, as TalkSport understands. So Harry Maguire has been told that he will not be involved, and we exclusively have been told here at TalkSport that he is gutted at being axed. Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins, we believe, are in as the backup to Harry Kane. Jordan Henderson is in instead of Adam Wharton, that's a TalkSport exclusive. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, Morgan Gibbs-White, Luke Shaw and Lewis Hall all left out, as we understand it.
Good with that.
Yes, it is. John Stones expected to be picked, despite lack of minutes this season, and Miles Lewis-Skelly hoping for a recall. The interesting part with him is where he will play, and our sources are saying potentially he's going to be selected as a midfield option. There we go.
Well,
choices.
Adam Wharton will be gutted.
Yeah. Oh, listen, there's a lot of people that are going to be gutted, without a doubt. Don't forget, we're going to bring you the whole squad first from 9:45 tomorrow morning. And the England legend that is Carl Walker, who is going to be part of our World Cup team, will be joining Drive to discuss the final squad tomorrow. That will be fascinating, no doubt. We're going to talk about the relegation battle in a bit, but we want to talk about Mo Salah right now and what you think should happen with the Liverpool start. Let's just say and repeat, if people can't remember, what he put on social media just a few days ago. This was after Liverpool's defeat to Aston Villa, where he said, "I've witnessed this club go from doubters to believers, and from believers to champions. It took hard work, and I always did everything I could to help the club get there. Nothing makes me prouder than that. Us crumbling to yet another defeat this season was very painful and not what our fans deserve. I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear, and back to being a team that wins trophies. That is the football I know how to play, and that is the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It cannot be negotiable. Everyone that joins this club should adapt to it." He says, "Winning some games here and there is not what Liverpool should be about. All teams win games. Liverpool will always be a club that means a great deal to me and to my family. I want to see it succeed for long after I have moved on." And as we know, he is moving on. Now that has, I'm going to tell you, 1.1 million likes on Instagram.
Well, I'm going to upset all of them then. And I understand that there was a poll on TV where 94% of Liverpool fans agreed with Mo Salah. And I agree, right? So all the fans out there, I agree the team's not been playing well at all. I agree the style of football is not what Liverpool play.
So you agree with the sentiment?
I agree with what he said. It's obvious to all of us, right? And he is one of the best players ever to play for Liverpool. I'm his biggest fan. But once again, the third time this season, that is bang out of order, what he's wrote. Because you can read between the lines. And I blame the club a little bit, right? Because if you don't take the players at the start of the season, this is a team game. If you go on Twitter and put a tweet on anything negative about Liverpool Football Club, which is a machine and well-respected club, that's not what we do at Liverpool Football Club. You can't go on there, criticise the club, the way the club's playing, the way the manager's trying to get the team to play, and the 12 players that like the tweet, they should be ashamed of themselves as well, because they know what they're doing, and it's just no class whatsoever. Mo Salah, I'm disappointed for him, because he should be walking out the club now, getting a round of applause off everybody. So he's thrown what he's done, he's thrown his toys up the pram when he left him out. He said, I've been thrown under the bus. That didn't get the manager the sack, so he tried again by saying, I'm leaving, halfway through his 2-year contract, when he just signed a new one 8 months ago. That was all right then, but because the manager's not picking him, he's gone, right, I'm off, or sack him. He never sacked him. So on his way out this time, he's left, as he's leaving, he's chucked a hand grenade in there, and now you've got a problem, which is it's going to be, watch what happens. There's going to be an epidemic of players going on Twitter and writing tweets, negative tweets. Managers left me out, we never played well. Don't speak unless all your teammates agree. It's a team game. If you're a golfer, you can say what you like, and it affects you.
How many players liked it?
12.
Quite a big number.
So why are you doing that? Why are you liking it? As if to just say, well, just in case he's on the floor and he's slot, we'll all just jump on top of him while he's on the floor. So just take that, so you all know what we think. That's not how Liverpool Football Club do things. That should be done behind closed doors. It should be. I just think it's scandalous what he's done.
Well, listen, let's carry this conversation over, because I know we should probably hit a break, because there's lots more that we can digest from this, because obviously the final game of the season for Liverpool is at Anfield on Sunday when they take on Brentford. Interesting, with your manager's hat on, what Arne Slot should do in this scenario. Stay with us though, you are tuning in to kick off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. It's 18 and over, gambleware.org.
Kick off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18 plus gambleware.org.
In a world of noise and uncertainty, IG is the investment platform that backs you. Take our flexible stocks ISA, which gives you the freedom to withdraw funds anytime and replace them in the same tax year, all without losing your £20,000 tax-free allowance. And if that's not enough, pay no commission on your stocks, shares and ETFs when you invest with IG. IG. Trade, invest, progress. Your capital's at risk, other fees may apply. Tax treatment depends on individual circumstances and is subject to change.
After months of thrilling, unpredictable and electrifying Premier League drama, we enter a gripping finale on the final day.
The world is too big for this one.
Watch all 10 final day matches this Sunday with a flexible Now membership.
It was absolutely box office.
So why not? Head to nowtv.com for every game of the Premier League final day. 18 plus, UK only. Broadband 2.5 megabytes per second required.
Why go small when you can go grand? Meet the new Vauxhall Grand Am Griffin. Striking alloys, sleek black roof, heated front seats, and 10-inch touchscreen. Everything you need for life on the move. Grand on style, grand on tech, grand on value. And during the Vauxhall sales event, get a grand off the new Grand Am Griffin or any other new Vauxhall on top of all other offers. Search Vauxhall Car Offers. Offered to private individuals, £1,000 including VAT saving on new car orders between 15th to 31st of May. Must be registered by 30th of June 2026. 18 plus T's supply.
Mr. and Little Miss are back in Happy Meal and they're off on a road trip. Your little one can go somewhere exciting with Little Miss Brave. Laugh all the way there with Mr. Tickle or make them an adventure all of their own. On this road trip, anything's possible. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Tuesday to 2 from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy while stocks last. Subject to availability.
With LV, I can get my car insurance from just £299. Just the price I'm after right now. And if I'm hit by an uninsured driver, I won't lose my no-claim discount, because insurance is simple when it's me and LV. No wonder we're rated excellent on Trustpilot. Get your quote today at lv.com. 10% of new customers pay £299 or less July to December 2025. Uninsured driver promise is non-fault accident only. Other vehicle and driver details required. LV General Insurance is part of Allianz.
Football, it's in your DNA. And at SpreadX Sports, new customers can earn up to £80 in free bets after placing a £10 World Cup outright bet. Get an initial £10 free fixed odds bet and a further free £10 bet for every game your chosen nation wins. Visit spreadx.com/DNA for full T's and C's. SpreadX Sports, it's in our DNA. 18 plus gambleware.org. First World Cup outright bet only qualifies. Free bets capped at £80. Free bet stakes not included in any winnings. Free bets must be claimed within 14 days.
Get ahead of the game every supercharged sporting Sunday on TalkSport with Travis Perkins. Make the warm-up a part of your weekly matchday ritual. The game is underway. And get an unrivaled preview of all the upcoming unmissable football action. Absolutely first class. With expert predictions, pitch-perfect analysis, and a top-flight lineup of guests. Guaranteed. The warm-up with Max Rushton and Barry Glendenning. Sunday morning from 11 on TalkSport with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters from the trail.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup, live on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. 12 booths, 104 games across 16 locations.
TalkSport will be there.
It's a ball-booming blitz of live soccer ball with play-by-play coverage of the entire tournament. From the build-up in Boston to the tackles in Toronto, our team of footballing wise guys will be bringing you all the World Cup drama. The 2026 FIFA World Cup starts June 11 on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
Super connected football at the speed of light. Kick off.
You're listening to Kick-Off on TalkSport. It is Dean Saunders and Natalie Sawyer with you until 10 o'clock, and then the sports bar is going to be coming your way. We will be talking about, of course, Pep Guardiola, as it seems as though Sunday could well be his last game in charge of Manchester City. But that is to come, because we're going to carry on the conversation we were having about Mo Salah.
All right.
And now the dilemma that Arne Slot has on Sunday for that team sheet when it goes in. What does he do with Mo Salah after clearly he's been critical, Mo Salah, on social media about the style of football at the club and basically essentially how disappointed he has been with what has gone on this season at the club. When he has, and it's been loved and liked by many, many people, over 1 million people have loved it. This is on Instagram. When it is quite clearly a message that he's sending out there about Arne Slot and his style of football, what does he do now, the manager?
Right, if it was me, and it wasn't Mo Salah, obviously, my first thought was, if any player ever done that to me, get your boots and get out the door, get in your car and don't come back. Because I know what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't set a precedent, you've got Engamol will be writing tweets soon, if you're not careful. Young lads. So you've got to say, you've got to send the message out, that's unacceptable for any player at the club. But
there is a but.
Because the fans are on Mo Salah's side and they're not having Slot under any circumstances on Saturday, is it Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday's game. Rather than heap a bit more pressure on himself now by leaving Mo Salah out, he's going to make it worse for himself.
Yeah.
So I think he has to rise above it and say, yeah, then Mo, it's your last game for the club. You deserve. I'm the bigger man in this situation. I'm not going to deny you getting a send-off from the fans. You've been a legend for the club. Just because we've fallen out at the end, start the game and off you go. Because if he puts him on the bench and they lose a goal, what do you think's going to happen?
Transfer mode.
So I think Arne Slot. I don't think anybody. It's a position he don't want to be in, though, is it? You know, like he won the league last year, and obviously I can see that he's not getting the results, and he's about to get sacked at any minute. But you can't conduct yourself at Liverpool Football Club like that. And they should all be fined. I'd fine him straight away 2 weeks' wages, If you ask me what the lad I'm sending home, it's 2 weeks' wages.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah. He's in a rock and a hard place to on the slot.
Without discipline now in football, you've got nothing. You've got 35 multi-millionaires that you have to control somehow. They've all got egos, and you've got to somehow keep them under control. So they like discipline. Football is like knowing where the boundary is. That stepped over the boundary. If Ian Poulter writes something about himself, fair enough, he's a golfer.
Yeah.
But when you write something about a team, have all your teammates agreed with it? Well, like you said, like you said, 12 of them have joined in. What about the other 20 who've not mentioned it? So it's wrong in my eyes, but I understand the fans are not going to agree with me because it's edgy.
Yes. I mean, from a professional standpoint, I agree.
Wrong.
It is wrong, but yeah, the fans see it only one way because they have not lived up to any expectations this season, Liverpool. And Mo Salah's just echoing, I guess, what a lot of fans will be thinking. But that's to come on Sunday.
See that lack of discipline you've just witnessed? But 12 players and Mo Salah, that's what's been going on the pitch. It's connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you what?
Volume 11. Volume 15. Volume 8. Volume 20.